We are back with Florida Powerboat Club on YouTube as we continue our epic series featuring the Key West Offshore Poker Run 2021 edition. A total of 12 episodes for you guys, and at number 4 now, so we are rolling right along as we get back into the studio for the summer. No poker runs till August, guys, and that means Ryan and I are going to be here getting caught up on all this great content. So let's get right to it. When we left off on our last show, we were joining the Wednesday departure group as the boats headed from Miami down through the scenic Florida Keys. And last time we checked, we stopped off at Key Largo for lunch, so here's where we'll catch up with the teams on a beautiful Wednesday in November. But before we get started, let's thank our sponsors. Our 2022 series sponsors include Blackwater Boats and their sister company, Deep Impact Custom Boats, and their authorized sales center, Plantation Boat Mart. Mystic Powerboats, Cigarette Racing Team and their authorized sales center, Top Gun Yachts, cigarette dealer Chief Marine Group, Midnight Express Powerboats, Big Thunder Marine, Concept Boats, Performance Boat Center, Mercury Racing, and Florida Powerboat Club's longest running sponsor, Nortec High Performance Boats. Additionally, we'd like to thank these Key West feature sponsors. There are 18 in all. It's with their support that we're able to create such a signature poker run event every year, and we thank them for their support. So here we are at the landmark Gilbert's Resort, mile marker 108. For those of you guys who are counting the US 1 mile markers, that means it's 108 miles to Key West, and it is a textbook raft up, in my opinion. All the boats nicely lined up, with that one exception of that one empty row with only one boat. But otherwise, guys, remember, it's just the Wednesday run, and we've got another lunch stop over down at Chief Marine Group. So for the number of boats that were here, it looks like everybody lined up nicely. That one center console all by himself there, but all these performance V-bottoms, center consoles, and outboard cats nicely tied up. Not sure which way the current is going today because we got some pointing north and some pointing south. Remember, guys, you always point the nose of the boat into the current when you arrive here at Gilbert's, and if you're not sure how that is, if you can't see it, just turn the boat sideways to the dock at a right angle and you'll feel which way the current is going, and then you can act accordingly. But otherwise, looking really stellar here today, guys, and look at how nice the weather is. Beautiful, clear skies, light winds today, and very calm, whether you're on the ocean side or on the bay side. It's been a great run so far just for this first leg from Miami down to Key Largo. Remember, we've got 108 miles to go, but plenty of daylight left and beautiful warm temperatures. So it looks like it's the bikini hour here after lunch, as this young lady gets her iPhone out to take some pictures of a passing boat. Nice lineup of these center consoles, guys. So what I'm saying here is that enjoy the day. You know, you're at Gilbert's. It's a fabulous lunch being served here, dockside. And you want to enjoy the day and just kind of take in this beautiful November weather. I think a lot of these folks have come from cold, wintry climates already. So just being here at Gilbert's is fantastic. And it looks like the first team departing from Gilbert's is Don Doty and his first mate, Carol Ann Kent, on the Skater 426. Carol Ann said in the video bio that they got missed by the helicopter, but Carol Ann, you got to admit the drone has been doing a damn good job. You've been in 4 consecutive episodes. Now we're catching up with Bill and Meg Wiles from Texas in this 38-foot fountain. They've been doing a lot of poker runs over the last couple of years. Taking time to get the life jackets on as Meg grabs the helm. Not her first time, because if she's not driving the boat, she's driving the hauler, bringing the boat down here to Florida for the poker runs. On board with them today, Rob and Star Ball from Baltimore, along with their daughter Kylie Wiles and her boyfriend Holden Snow, their first time on the poker run. And Meg says in the video bio that everybody had a great time. And it looks like it's going to be a really nice drone segment as we're really getting some close-ups of all the teams as they push off. Looks like that Nortec is Robbie McAtee, Team Robaldo, a 39-foot Nortec. His first time with this boat, actually. He just got the boat, had a 34 Nortec before, upgraded to the 390. This one with, looks like triple Mercury Verado 350s. He says he's got 400 Rs, though, so I think he's got 400 Rs. He just put 350 on the cowlings to make it kind of a sleeper. You know, us guys do that. And it's Jeff and Brenda Jacobs. We saw a little bit of this team in our last episode, 39-foot Cigarette, triple Mercury Racing 450 Rs, and a team that Although they're from Maryland, they actually keep the boat in the Florida Keys down in Key West. So they're doing a backtrack trip today. And we're getting a lot of love to this boat. Joey Ginta, his first time with this Cigarette 42X. He's all the way from Long Island. I think he's been in episode 1 and 3 and now 4. So getting a lot of coverage of this wild purple 42X built by Lipship Performance. It's powered by Mercury Racing 860s. And like I said earlier in the show, just the great weather. You can see how light the winds are. Not even hardly a ripple in these Blackwater Sound Bay waters. And that's pretty much the way it's going to be all the way into Key West, as these boats are just kind of milling around, getting set up for the ride, getting life jackets out and battening the hatches, tying down anything that's loose, because there's going to be some good riding going ahead. Looks like Sam Gabriel just stopped to wait for a couple of boats. And yes, indeed, he's got a traffic jam going here, holding back these 3 cigarettes. He says, now I'm going to go, guys. But just love the reflection of the afternoon sun here. Now Justin Beischel with his wife Jonah riding along today. They trailered the boat all the way from Ohio, and they haven't had it very long. Just took delivery back in Memorial Day of 2021. 368 skater, 2 900 horsepower custom blower motors under the hatches. And it looks like we've got some forward momentum now, and a couple of cats now catching up with Sam Gabriel, so they're going to be the front runners as we depart here. But remember, guys, when you leave Gilbert's, it's not really a hot rod segment. You've got a lot of mangrove waterways and bay waters to cross over, and you're going to come into a lot of boating congestion, especially on a nice day like today. A lot of guys out fishing, paddleboarding, a lot of eco tours. Pretty much a little bit of everything for the next 15 to 20 miles until we get past Islamorada where things open up. And we're on the throttles now. That's Robert McAtee in the foreground in his 39-foot Nortec. First time on the Key West run with this boat. Last event was Tampa. That was in a Nortec 340. Guys, we had to let you listen in to those Mercury Racing 1550s in this 42-foot fountain. Yes, indeed, this boat is fast, owned by Christian Dahlberg from Sweden, and they have a Lotto shootout speed record of 152. And we saw this cigarette duo on the last episode. I'm calling it the Frank Show because we got Frank Sr., Frank Jr. on the left in the 39, and Frankie Lovato in the 42X Mercury Racing 1350s. And we saw this skater way back in episode 1. I got to love the storyline behind this team. A father, Jeff, and son, Cody, father and son team on this 1996 28 skater that was completely redone in 2018. Cody said in his video bio that they were probably the smallest boat on the poker run, but they may have had the biggest time. They said that Key West was a bucket list poker run for them, and they finally made the 2021 edition. And a little time now with Gary Lickle again from the West Palm Beach area in Special Ops, a 39-foot MTI. And, of course, Gary was in the club a long time ago, 12, 13 years ago, with a cigarette by the same name. Another great storyline about his crew. He's been planning with a bunch of old school buddies, 6 in total, to get together for over 2 years. They got stopped by COVID, but they're back. And now catching up with Jeff and Brenda Jacobs. We saw a lot of this boat in a previous episode, enjoying this Wednesday run in the beautiful Upper Keys. While the boat still says Team Game Changer because they bought that from another club member, they've actually dubbed it We're Back, and that has reference to them being back on the poker run circuit. They used to run a cigarette Gladiator for years, and especially on this Key West run. Now they've got the center console because guess what, guys? They've got kids now. And starting to see more and more of Brian and Sandra Hoare on this Team X Racer 2.0 statement 36-foot cat with Mercury Racing 450s. And they have just been doing so many runs and loving this boat. They started with the club quite some time ago in a smaller cat, outboard powered, but seems that this boat is just giving them everything that they need, as well as lots of room in the cockpit to bring their friends. What do they love about powerboating? They say the adventure, the camaraderie, and the destinations are great, but the thrill of doing these poker runs in high-speed boats makes it awesome. And here is Mike DeWitt all the way from Indiana, running this 36 Wright Performance Cat that he acquired from Performance Boat Center. And he's got an interesting lifestyle, like so many of us. Still has a home back in Indiana, but spends a lot of time in Fort Myers, where his second playground is. And Fort Myers, of course, being a perfect playground for a boat like this 360 Cat. And it's another fast Cat, but it's missing those 2 egg beaters on the back. That's right, because it's a stern drive boat. Mercury Racing 1100s in Chris Richards' 44 Mystic. And this is a David Landsman old boat segment, because like the cigarette we saw just a few minutes ago, this 44 Mystic was also owned by David Landsman at one time. And I love the team name that Chris used for his boat, Angle of Attack. Well, that's because he's in the aviation industry. And if we had to give a report card to Michael Alexander for attendance, it would be A++. He's done this event in his TJA Motorsports 32 skater multiple times, probably 12 or 13 times that I'm aware of. Maybe we lost him during the one COVID year, but he's back. And I would say that this 32 skater is bordering on classic. Why? Because it's got triple Mercury Racing outboards. And now catching up with Charlie and Michelle Mattingly in their 48-foot MTI. Dual Cal 1100 1350s from Mercury Racing. Charlie says the boat rides great through any water conditions, has unbelievable handling considering how big it is. It's a full carbon fiber hull. Charlie says the boat has unmatched performance when he runs the boat on Mercury Racing 1350 mode. Well, we let the big power roll guys give you that great audio. Now it's Donald and Don Haddon in their brand new Concept 4400. They took delivery back in September, making the Emerald Coast Powerboat Week, the first poker run they did with the new Concept. Delivered all the way from Miami. Eric Avila joined them for that event. This time we've got a lot of concepts running. They're loving the new boat. It's powered by Mercury Racing 450Rs. 44 feet of just perfect blend of performance and luxury, not to mention all that space to bring all your friends. As always, guys, we'll let you listen to the rumble of those motors. Thanks to Bobby and Kendall Burke for joining us in their Gladiator. And it's another father and son entry. This one is Jim Bradley, father, that is, to Chris. He's in his 390 Nortec, powered by Mercury Racing 400s. Notice it's got the double bolster setup, which is ideal, really, for poker runs. They've done a lot of events with this Nortec over the years. I believe they went to the Bahamas probably 4 years ago with us, all the way to Nassau, Paradise Island. Now let's say hi to Daniel Cates from Georgia, Team Nauti. It's a 2019 Renegade 33 Open. They did the winter poker run soon after they got the boat a couple of years ago. It's got triple Mercury Racing 400Rs. They trailered about 600 miles each way to join us for the Key West event. And it's time for another hot rod fountain as we catch up with David Kramer and Team Nauti List, all the way from New Jersey. He wasn't going to attend the poker run, but here he is. Let's listen in. And for those who are guessing, these are Mercury Racing 525s, not stock. They've been fully whippled and running about 835 horsepower aside. And looks like the girls are styling on board Chris and Shelby Mattingly's brand new Midnight Express, powered by 5 Mercury Racing 450s. First time we saw this boat here for the Key West Poker Run. They have done a lot of events in their Outerlimits, but Shelby has got the girls all wound up and matching in their nice lime green bikinis. Look how cool they match with the boat. All I can think of is about 5 awards, maybe like Best Center Console, Best Dressed Team, Sexiest Crew, Most Spirited Team, Best Paint and Graphics. Guys, you got it going on. You could easily take home 5 awards. Well, a sharp contrast from that 5-engine center console to this twin outboard Platinum. But guys, Ed Miller's Platinum is a very cool and very rare 2000 model year Platinum Raptor. 41 feet, has been rigged with twin Yamaha outboards. And it really is a one-off boat. You're not going to see any of these anywhere. That's what I love about the Key West Poker Run. It brings out a little bit of everything. And if you want to look at some classic and some rare boats, this is where you're going to find them. This boat is a full carbon and composite layup. Fred and Judy Revis are starting to set the record book here. I think they've done this event about 8 or 9 years in a row in different boats, but it seems to me that this 42 MTI is becoming a staple in their boating lifestyle. They've had a lot of other boats in the club, a 40 MTI Cat, a 48 MTI Cat with Mercury Racing 1350s, but this 42 with 4 400s seems to be doing the job just great. And another cigarette center console as we catch up with Paul Eisen, Team Still Smoking. It's a Lipship 41 GTR to be specific. Quad Mercury Racing 450Rs. Love the colors, love the graphics. They traveled all the way from Kentucky to join us, 900 miles each way. Paul's entry has helped Cigarette to be one of the top represented manufacturers here on the Key West Poker Run. And here's another one of those very popular MTI Slot V42s. Glenn Moss, all the way from California with Uno Moss, made a joke about his 5 Mercury Racing 450s, which explains the Uno Moss. He could have done fine with 4 of these on this 42, but 5, well, just look at that thing, guys. It's just incredible to look at, and of course, it has got some stellar performance. Love the paint and graphics on this 42 as well. Strong representation for MTI. It won them the Manufacturers Cup. Now let's say hi to Dominic Landracina and his crew, all the way from New Jersey, joining us here on this Key West event. They've been featured in previous shows, number 2 and 3, and now again in episode 4 with this 37-foot Midnight Team 4-play that's got 4 Mercury Racing 450Rs. And what does Dominic like about powerboating? He says the feeling you get from skimming across the waves at high speeds and the sense of the rush and the sense of the calm all at once. And let's introduce Kent and Liz Anderson, all the way from Missouri in their Sunsation 40 CCX, triple Mercury Racing 450Rs. And Team Sundog, they said it's their first time attending the Key West Poker Run, but not their first time going to the Key West races. In fact, they said in their video bio that they started going to Key West during the races as far back as 1993. Well, guys, a little bit of trivia for you. 1993 was the first year that we did the Key West Poker Run. There you go. Well, we're going to change it up a little bit, guys. Fast and furious on this Wednesday afternoon as we get further down into the Keys. You might have noticed that the last few boats were a little bit backlit. That's because we're actually heading almost on a southwest heading now into Key West. Now we're on the opposite side heading back up the pack and starting to see some better lighting as we just kind of hover here and do these fast flybys, we call them, as the boats are continuing to head south. Now, location-wise, these are the backwaters, but we're down close to Marathon now, so only about 50 miles further to go right on into Key West. And at this point is when the teams would want to decide, are we going to go offshore and take the coastal route, or are we going to stay on the protected backwaters Well, guys, the good news is that today the winds are light, therefore the seas are calm, and I think most of the boats are going to turn and exit at Marathon and take the coastal waters all the way into Key West. And I'm guessing that Mark Fisher actually realized the lighting was better. He turned the boat around to get some good stuff here. And there's a guy who's done a lot of poker runs, and he actually realized, oh, we got to get better lighting. And that's what brought out these graphics on this 39 Deep Impact factory entry Mercury Racing 450Rs. It is the cabin model. As you can see, the forward V-berth. A lot of room, as you can see, the raised cabin there. You can stand up down in that V-berth, and of course still have a lot of room in that spacious center console down below. And if you're interested in buying a Deep Impact, the exclusive dealer is Plantation Boat Mart in the Florida Keys. Well, we're on the ground now at the Marathon Airport. That's our producer, Ryan McCoy, about to board this R-44 helicopter, along with Pete Bowden to shoot stills. And why do we have another helicopter? Well, guys, this is the Key West Poker Run. We got to do everything big. This is truly big. It's actually our second photo and video crew that's overlapping the helicopter that came down out of Miami. And they're going to cover the last leg from Marathon down towards Key West. And the reason for that is that we just want to maximize our photo and video coverage as we catch up with all the teams. Mike DeWitt now in his Wright Performance 360 Cat. We saw him just a little earlier in the show, running great today and loving these waters. And guys, that's what it's all about. You know, this Key West event, running down on the protected backwaters of Florida Bay, is absolute paradise for any boating team, but in particular these outboard cats, as we now catch up with Gary Lickle once again in his brand new MTI 390X, a boat that he just took delivery of recently. He ordered the boat at the Miami Boat Show Poker Run as he came into Gilbert's and checked out the new MTI, went for a little test ride with Randy Sism and Taylor. So he's one of many who have since taken delivery of these 390s. Everyone's loving them. There are a lot on this poker run. And it's been 25 years or more with David and Leanne Branton attending these Florida Powerboat Club events, and we've lost track of how many boats they've had in that period of time, but certainly one of the most memorable and one of the coolest ever is this Cigarette 59 Tirana, powered by 6 Mercury Racing 450Rs. And you gotta love this name. David said that the boat is Team LEAR, that's L-E-A-R, and that stands for his wife Leanne, daughters Elizabeth and Abigail, and his son James' girlfriend Reagan, all part of the family. So guys, David may be getting old, but he's still pretty sharp. And it was only a matter of time before we caught up with the factory Outerlimits team. Dan Kleitz at the helm of this SV50 Outerlimits Mercury Racing 1550s, and he has got the boat dialed in now in these offshore waters. A perfect chop here to just keep the boat aired out nicely. You can see it's just a light chop and a following sea, and wow, he is just getting it today with this big 50 Outerlimits. It's kind of hard to get a great look at this boat from so far away, but remember, all of the factory sponsor teams will be docked at the Conch Republic Seafood Company if you want a closer look. And another super cool Outerlimits. This one of the few canopied boats on the run. Jason Lalo from Ohio. This is a 2019 SV43 Outerlimits powered by Mercury Racing dual cal 1350 1550s. And the difference between this boat and the one you saw earlier is that these are quiet motors, guys. Factory stock with the exhaust. You can barely hear them when they're running, but they certainly have gobs of power, and he is getting some great airtime today, making for some awesome video and certainly some great still photos that he'll get from the helicopter. When asked why he came back to Key West in his video bio, he reported, "It's Key West, duh." You gotta love that. And catching up now with Bo and Tiffany Renfro from Georgia in their 36-foot skater, Mercury Racing 700s. Kind of on cruise control right now, not exactly getting on it, but sounding pretty stout. And it's another skater. This time it's Team Out of Control, 40-foot skater Michael Tandoy from Rochester, New York. We didn't say much about him in the previous shot because he was getting on it, and those Mercury Racing 1100s were sounding pretty stout. But looks like he's just taking it easy on this final leg as he heads into Key West. Michael always has kind words for us on his video bio. What is his favorite thing about powerboating? He says, Florida Powerboat Club. You know, he's always got the best answers. And one more time with Brian and Sandra Hoare and Team X Racer 2.0. Mercury Racing 450Rs on this final leg from Marathon offshore in the Atlantic Ocean, heading into Key West. Backing off on the throttles just a little because they're getting a little bit of air, and I think that Mama's probably saying to him, okay, Big Daddy, we've had our fun for the day. Get me safely into Key West, and we can have some fun tonight on Duval Street. And another outboard cat. This one, of course, an MTI 390X, and it's Brett Spraggins from California. Bougiee AF. Well, guys, you know exactly what that means. What a cool boat name. And what a great-looking MTI 390. Love the colors, love the graphics. And I think that, you know, with probably more than a dozen, closer to 15 of these 390s on the run, there are no two that look exactly the same. And I think that's what's cool about any kind of a custom build from MTI. You can get exactly what you want. And it's the factory entry with Taylor Sissom at the helm of this MTI 390X. And this one not quite as wild on the paint and graphics, probably because it's going to find a new owner very, very soon at the rate that they're selling them. Somebody's going to want to get their hands on this boat. And it's from the sponsor dock at the Conch Republic Seafood Company that MTI was able to run their demos and their sea trials over the next few days, especially on the days where there wasn't any powerboat races, which would be Thursday and Saturday over the weekend. And a little more time now with Tyler Stone, another team from California, a long ways away, 3,000 miles, in Resurrected III. And I think that by now MTI are very thankful that you guys have contributed to their factory video segment here. Basically just cut and paste this right into the MTI website and say, this is one of the many things you can do with your new MTI. And it doesn't matter if it's a 390X or a 42 or even a 50 center console. We've got a little bit of everything on this run. Austin Carver from California, another 5-engined 42. I love the graphics, how the gray then blends into that little white stripe and then a little red and then the black bottom. Just a nice combination of colors for sure. And a big shout out to all these teams that came all the way from California to join us, guys. That is truly amazing. Well, it's time for the Chris and Angela show here. We saw Dad Jim Bradley earlier with his Nortec. Now it's time to catch up with Chris in this really cool 388 skater powered by Goodwin Performance. Well, guys, I don't know about you, but I have truly enjoyed all of this coverage of this episode 4 with feature coverage of the Key West Offshore Poker Run 29th edition. And guess what? There's more to come. Episode 5 is going to continue chasing the Wednesday departure guys on their final leg into Key West. And then we're going to start getting into that big Thursday group as we rendezvous back at Hullover. So it's all right here on Florida Powerboat Club's YouTube channel. And guys, you cannot afford to miss another episode. So be sure to subscribe to our channel now and hit that notification bell so you'll get an update every time a new episode is released. Be sure to check out the website at flpowerboat.com for all of the details about upcoming poker run events in 2021, as well as membership information. You can follow us on Facebook at Florida Powerboat Club, and you can follow us on Twitter and on these Instagram pages. Thanks to all of our viewers for your wonderful comments on our page, and you guys know who you are, and I really do appreciate that. But if you have questions or comments you want to direct to me specifically, please use my personal email at stu@flpowerboat.com. I check that daily, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We're going to sign off for now. This is Stu Jones along with our producer Ryan McCoy in the Pompano Beach studio. Have fun out there, guys. Be safe on the waterways. Wear your life jackets when the time is right, and always respect your fellow boaters. Bye for now.